Hello everybody. Until proven otherwise, I am Paolo Pieser and welcome to another episode of GenExpr for musicians. In the previous video, we looked at the third of the statements that we saw we can make in GenExpr, which is the conditional statement. In today's video, instead, we will look at the fourth and the last of the statements, which is the loop statement. So let's not make this probably short video any longer, and let's dive in. So what is a loop statement? A loop statement, and a read, is a block of code in which the statements inside it are read several times within one sample, as long as an internal conditional expression is true. The variable for the conditional expression is updated almost at every iteration, so to avoid infinite loops. Perfect. How many loop statements do we have, and what are their characteristics? Well, we have two kinds of loop statements in GenExpr. The first one is the for loop, which is a entry control loop that checks the conditional expression before reading the statements inside the block. For this reason, if the conditional expression returns false, the statements are not read even once. The compiler skips them. Mind that the conditional variable is initialized and updated in the definition of the for loop, while the conditional expression is only defined in the definition of the for loop. Although now that I think about it, the variable which is checked against the conditional variable could be updated. This is an idea that I just got. Perhaps I will show it in a later video if it is possible or not. I'm not entirely sure. Well, let's move on with the second of the loop statements, which is the while statement. Now, people that come from another programming language might think that also the while is an entry control loop, and they're right, probably in their programming language. In GenExpr, the while loop is equivalent to the do while loop, which is an exit controlled loop statement, which means that before this block of statements is read, and then the conditional expression is checked. So you have at least one read of the statements when you enter a while loop. In the case of the while loop, the conditional expression must be stated in its definition. However, the conditional variable must be initialized outside and updated in its statements block. So it's not like the for loop that in which the variable is initialized and updated inside the definition of the for loop. Mind this. But we will understand this very easily if we look at the code that I wrote here. Let's read it together. I make the statements chow equals 0 and chow2 equals 0, and then I define the for loop. So for the initial state of the conditional variable I equals 0 and the conditional statement, the conditional expression I lesser than 5, then read this code. After you read this code, update the variable with an expression. In this case, the plus equal, which is an incremental operator. So if I is 0, it goes to 1, and then from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, and so on, and so on, and so on. And then check if the conditional expression is still true, and if it is, read the statement again. So we look at where chow goes, and output 1 equals chow, so we can expect chow to have 4, so the value of I. But wait, Paolo, why is it 4 and not 5? Well, because we start from 0. So it is, and watch the video if you're not watching, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the fifth iteration is 4. So the fifth iteration has I equals to 4, which is the case. Now let's look at the while. While chow2 is less than 5, chow2 plus equal 1. And in this case, we have the out2 equals chow2, and in this case, it is 5. Why 5? Because we first read the statement, so it becomes 1. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we check the conditional expression. So chow2 is 5, and out2 is 5. Now, let's go to the next section, because I would like to inform you that you can use 2 commands to do something inside these loop statements. The first command is the command break, which, regardless if the conditional expression is true or false, we just break out of the loop statement. So you can create situations in which if something happens, you don't need the loop statement anymore, and you can just break out of it. Let's look at the code here. We have a for loop with a conditional expression conditional statement inside it that says that if I equals 3, chow equals I, and then break. So we go to see what chow is, and out 1 equals to chow, and indeed out 1 equals to 3. Now, there is the other command as well, which unfortunately works only in the while loop. In the for loop it doesn't, and it just kind of breaks your code. The pattern starts to behave weirdly. So I reported it. I expect it to be solved soon, so just take it as something temporary. However, in the while, the continue works quite well. And what does the continue do is that whenever it is encountered, the loop is moving to the next iteration of the loop. So let's say that we have, like in this while, 5 iterations of the code, and we want to not read part of the code after the 3rd iteration. We just put a conditional statement which says if chow is greater than 3, then continue, and hello should not be updated. And indeed it is the case, because out2 equals hello and out2 equals to 3, as expected from this code. Now, a final note. In case you want to build higher order filters with a loop statement in Gen, be aware that you need to save all the states of the filters into a buffer or a data operators. And all those states must be available for the entire duration of the for loop. So you cannot write it at the end of the block of statements and then look at the same index and retrieve the value and then save the value, filtered value, again in the same index. You need to save it in another index, so that all the states are available in the for loop. In that way, you can make a higher order filter. Otherwise, it just will not work. I'm not sure exactly why it doesn't, although it have been explained to me, but just take it as a knowledge that you have and you don't need to question, for now at least. All right, so for the video today, as promised, it is very short. This is it. I hope that everything was clear, but if it wasn't, please leave your doubts, but also comments and feedbacks down below. I am glad to see you in this video as well also today, and I hope to see you at the next one. Have a fantastic day, afternoon, or evening. Ciao.